Hello everyone and welcome to a new video for the channel where today we're going to be checking out Final Outpost, a game that is billed as a survival strategy base builder and has a visual style really reminiscent of Rise to Ruin, if you're familiar with that game. Very much a top-down kind of builder survivor, fairly accelerated time with waves of zombies each night. A relatively well understood and established genre at this point, but I feel that Final Outpost has quite a strong emphasis on time and indeed resource management that kind of set it apart from some of the others in the genre. Now, over on Steam, it is billed as, again, Final Outpost is a survival strategy base builder. You lead the last survivors of an apocalypse, assign roles, craft tools, and manage resources carefully. Very strong emphasis on the carefully. Construct buildings, level up your citizens, and fortify your town against hordes of zombies. How many days can you survive? There is a degree of meta progression, as in you can complete an outpost if you do very, very well and move on to another. I think there is an idea of, well, you have completed the game after you've completed 3 outposts. So don't quote me on that. I haven't even got most of the way through 1 outpost in my testing. But today is a new day and maybe we will have a bit of a better go of it. But it is always easier to show than to describe. So we're going to go ahead and jump into a fresh game. Now, I've only tried it on Classic, and I see no reason to change that. Saves only when setting each new outpost, but I have taken the liberty, as mentioned, of getting to grips with the game's mechanics so we can turn the tutorial tips off as we begin our new journey. Outpost name will, of course, be the Dapper Dell. There we go. Right, I think we should be in for a little bit of an introduction here, in a timeline not too far away. Fairly, I like the low fidelity in this, the simple graphics, the lack of a face. It tells you enough about the story without getting bogged down with details, and I do appreciate that, actually. Those zombies look, honestly, look like maybe they endured some horrific burn accident before rising again. Sometime later. Wandering through the woods, clothing has been scratched up. It must be quite some time later, unless the zombie outbreak, ravaged the town pretty aggressively there. Oh, I like that. That is actually quite cool. Okay, from humble beginnings, everyone. Let's see how far we can go in 1 episode. And if we don't end by the end of it, then maybe we'll come back for another one. I am recording this on, as some of you may already know, I've got surgery planned, and that is actually due in 6 hours. So any further continuation, you'll have plenty of time to let algorithms know whether you want to see more, is what I'm trying to tell you. I had hoped to get more stuff nailed down, but the rigmarole and planning about, an extended hospital stay takes much more time than one would expect. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is we are going to be very much on the low speed. We've got our peeps all assigned. Right now, I can only add 1 there. In fact, I'm going to take away our fighter and have you help out. The fighters will be useful. I'll quickly go over this. There doesn't seem to be a pause option. These are our defenses. Currently, we only have 1 wall. All of the other walls are locked off, and there are turrets and stuff that we'll be able to set up. We can craft certain resources based on materials that we have, if we indeed have one, and we've got our stockhouse there. But the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to very much need a wood workshop, and whilst that's on the go, I'm going to build a drying rack, and I'm also going to build a wood store because we are definitely going to need those as well. I will probably be moving these around as time permits. Honestly, I'll probably shimmy things about quite a lot. But now we will have the ability to build some of the items over here. And right now, the chief resource you're going to want is wood. That is going to be your life's blood. So we're going to want to have 1 scavenger, 3 lumberjacks, 1 hunter, and no one on night shift duty. The night fighter will only come out at night. Somewhat similar to colony survival, the zombies only approach at night, so really you only need fighters at night. And well, from what I can tell, it's expected that you're going to be shuffling around your population. Now, when your population have got some downtime, for every couple who are asleep, you increase your birth rate in your colony, which is, obviously quite useful. Though right now we don't have any extra capacity, so that wouldn't really help us out too much early on. To build extra capacity will take a bit of extra work. We need to get our base up to level 2. That's going to require 200 wood. How much wood can we currently store? We can currently store 200 exactly. And that to upgrade our current wood stockpile is going to require base level 2, and to upgrade our current meat drying rack is going to require base level 2. So everything is kind of hinged on base level 2, and ultimately, again, the wood is the main thing. You'll notice these little progress bars moving up. Ooh, let me go over and showcase. Oh, no, too late now. But when they're working, they'll slowly build up their progress, and then they will bring back by the looks of it, about 12, 14, oh, actually, no, 18. Oh, sorry, it was 2 there, not 3. 18 materials. Right now, it is nighttime, and so it is time for us to do the switcheroos. Now, do we have enough? I didn't get enough knives to set up a second one. I would actually like another hunter as well when morning comes. We'll just redistribute some peeps as such, but our one protector is going to stand guard overnight. If we click on the wall, we can see its current health, the amount of turrets it can have, the amount of defenders who are currently here, and you can shift around how many defenders you want at each location as time goes through. But we're going to speed up time here. Now, they will only move to deal with things once an enemy is close by, but they can attract extra attention. Notice how they're moving around, but didn't all just rush. But there was like a sound effect, and any zombies nearby will be drawn to the noise. So down here, for example, is pretty good because there's no one close by to notice. Now, once they have engaged, what will happen is they will keep fighting even after daybreak. And that is a bit of a problem. You obviously want to be able to get your crew out and gathering things as soon as possible. We are going to want a little bit more food. We don't actually need that much, though, if I'm perfectly honest. Oh, actually, what is our capacity? Yeah, we've got a capacity of 10. I'll allow our hunters to do a little bit of hunting. You notice how the animals did, their population did go back up, though, and that is an important one. That is something that we're going to be leaning on quite heavily, actually. You don't want to overhunt, because as their population gets smaller, it's the rate at which it can repopulate also goes down. Now, we are almost out of food. I hope that we're going to be able to get... There we go. Here comes the food right at this point. I don't want 2 of you there. Let's pop you over there instead. There we go. Now, we are at our max, so let's go ahead and upgrade. Now, that has also upgraded our storage capacity a little bit, which is quite nice. But more importantly, we will now be able to build housing, which is going to be very, very important for us. That requires 200 as well. Our storage capacity is 350. We are at our max for meat right now, which is an issue. But it's something that we can upgrade with only 100 wood, and that's something we're going to want to get to. But before then, I would like an extra knife fighter, ideally. Now, to get someone who can repair, we need a workshop level 2. To get someone who can dig, that is to excavate and expand our land, we're going to need someone who can... so we're going to need a shovel. Also, to start gathering stone, we're going to need workshop level 2 as well. That's going to require 450. An amount which you probably already noticed is outside our reach at the time being. So that's something that we're going to want to try and get over to as quickly as we can. Now, if you're wondering what that booming is in the background, that's just lightning. Hopefully that storm doesn't make its way over to us, because if it does, that's going to be a problem for us, because lightning is no joke in this game. It will straight up ruin a building and just completely burn it down to the ground, which really, really sucks, actually, as one might imagine. Right, so let's speed time up a little bit. You can hold to go into ultra speed, like so. Hopefully we're not going to have too many zombies bothering us, and with 2 knife fighters, they will share out the fighting a little bit, so it's a bit more effective. But let's bring you back in, redistribute you back to the lumberjacks, and honestly, that's going to be the way that we move forward for quite some time. At least until we get some more peeps over here. Here we go. Got some more peeps. Fantastic. All right, there we go. Now, immediately, we want to get them out and helping. I would like a little bit more salvage coming in. Actually, I shouldn't have that on maximum. With extra people, sure, let's get an extra harvester. But we need a little bit more for that. Okay, well, you can go on to extra salvaging as well then. That won't be too much of a problem. I would very much like to get some extra storage space. We're about at our... Well, actually, no, we're a little ways off from our maximum. You know what? Let's go ahead and spend 100 to upgrade our meat drying rack so we can store a little bit more. That should allow our 2 hunters to be able to bring in their kills without overstocking and then wasting the productive effort, which is something that we very much don't want to waste early on, or at all, really. Now we've got a little bit of metal behind us, which is going to be very nice. Let's increase the capacity because we may get more people dropping by here and there. But also, do we want an extra knife? I'm going to say yes, and an extra axe there. There we go. And at this point, we've got 3 knife fighters, which will actually be very, very useful for us as it happens. Now's the time for us to go ahead and redistribute them. There we are. It's nice and easy with the move everyone button. Now, as we can see, it's not going so great over here, and that's something we very, very much want to fix. So we are definitely going to have to work towards that. At the moment, I'm going to say the next big upgrade for us would be more wood stores, as this is only going to double it, but it's for twice the amount we normally would want. Honestly, that was the case with the meat as well, but I kind of want to move a lot of these things around. I could demolish it, but that isn't very useful of my resources right now. Ultimately, I would like all the wood stores over there and have a couple of meat drying racks. But that is very, very much, I'm just going for aesthetics at that point, and this is not a game that really rewards that. You will be punished for prioritizing such non-surviving things as priorities. Right, there we go, that's fine. We can bring all of you back in and get out the lumberjacks. Now, as a consequence, we don't really have anyone asleep in the day, so we don't have any kind of birth rate happening here. That will eventually come our way, just when we get to a point where we don't have enough tools for everyone or enough jobs for them to do. So we will eventually have some of the fighters spending the night asleep, the day asleep, getting in some rest. But right now, a couple of people, hopefully on a rotating kind of order, are having to pull double shifts. Right, let's go ahead and get some extra wood stores over there. In terms of the meat, we could probably dial you down by 1 and get you helping with that. We're doing okay for meat right now, I would say. Yeah, generally speaking, we're doing okay. Again, do I want to, do I care enough? Oh, you know I do. You know I do. And I was kidding myself trying to pretend that I don't. But that's okay. There we are. We should be able to get a little bit of extra storage in there now as a consequence. There we are. And as soon as that's ready, we'll upgrade you. There we go. We'll pop you back. I would like to have a little bit of a buffer for food, if we can possibly get to that. All right, there we go. Plenty of wood coming in is what we want. And that's probably as much as we're going to do for the meat racks going forward. We're just not going to have to worry about it any more than this. Something which I'm very, very happy with. Now, in terms of our total wood capacity, we now have enough to reach that goal. Just a little bit shy of reaching this one, but we can easily get there. But that will take... well, actually, no, it's only this, which is not too bad, and that itself will increase our wood and indeed stone production quite nicely. There we go. Let's get you guys distributed out. Now, as far as we go in here, another knife might not be a bad one, and definitely an extra axe as well. So in total, we've now got 5. So 4 knife fighters and a couple of axes besides. Now at the moment, 4 fighters is probably more than we need. It's mostly just giving us that tiny bit of extra clearance. It doesn't really help us out a huge amount, but I'd rather have that than not at the moment. Right, with that, we should be bringing in quite a lot of wood moving forward. And the citizens are going hungry, and this is one of the problems that we have. Let's hope that we can get some food in soon, because they will eventually starve. There we go, some food there, 2 food, there we go. Everyone should now cover their needs, and we'll keep 2 hunters moving forward. We might even bump it up to 3 on occasion. Right, we're up to 376. I would like to get to the point that we can get a repairer sooner rather than later, so I'm going to focus on that for now. But one thing I will do is I will just add that last little bit of wood store. I'm not going to upgrade any of these just yet. I want these to be there for now, though, because that is going to open up the ability for us to upgrade to the next level, which will give us even more capacity for people. It will keep the same amount of meat capacity, but the increased capacity for salvage will be very, very nice. Additionally, we could already upgrade this, but I don't think we really need to, and it's not going to give us any extra positions for fighting, so it's not really that much of a focus for us at the present moment. But as you can see, we're getting more and more enemies showing up. Now, one of the things that I think I was probably the least prepared for, given the game, it kind of lulls you into this feeling that it's not a deep simulation. But one of the things that caught me off guard the most was easily the fact that, that was a blood moon, by the way. I didn't properly draw attention to that, but it's a bit of a larger wave, and you get a skill point that you can distribute. I would like to go for infantry size as the first thing, because the lumberjacks right now, that they're in our entire economy, and then bringing back a little bit more when they come back is huge. But seasons exist. Winter exists. It's going to be rough if that catches up to us before we're ready for it to get here. So we need to do our best to avoid that. Let's get you guys in. I think at this point I will get an extra hunter. So let's get you out there. And I would like some extra salvage brought back. Actually, you know what? No. In fact, I would like to focus that on the lumberjacks, if at all possible. Right, at this stage, we can go ahead and upgrade our workshop, and that is a huge, huge deal. Now, the saw is 20 salvage and is actually worth me going for. So let me pop 2 people there. There you go. 10 citizens hungry. That does suck, but 3 hunters should be able to do it without pushing the reproduction of our animals too hard there. We should be okay to keep this going. In fact, our total is now 25 food, so we should be okay. I could even just get an extra boat just to give us a little bit of coverage, I guess. Let's go ahead then. Let's get 1 extra bow. I'll take a lumberjack off that just to get us a little bit closer to like about 20, and then we will switch you back to largely just getting bringing in wood. I think that would probably be ideal. Right, where are the... Oh no, I had my lumberjacks, all of them off. I was wondering for a second there. That is definitely one of the problems that I find is flicking this on for nighttime and then forgetting that I've done that. There we go. So we will just go ahead and speed through this one. You can have this on hold or toggle if you prefer. I prefer it on hold because it gives me more opportunity not to have issues. Some of the zombies, the coloration is very slightly different, but there are effectively levels of zombies. And you do want to bear that in mind because they can kind of catch you off guard. There are much stronger variants out there. Now, what I'm saving up for is I would like to get the necessary materials to get some people out here repairing, but also to get this up to the next level, which we should be able to hit at present. So I'm looking forward to that. I may go ahead and upgrade one of these. I know it's 100 down just to give me a tiny bit of extra capacity, but this will protect me from a situation where all of the lumberjacks are coming back at the same time and I waste some of their productive effort because we were literally at the edge of what we could store. But this is the next big focus. Oh, there we go. We've got a saw up and running. That is amazing. Right, I will reduce you and I want someone repairing. Now, the repairs take wood. It does take lumber to repair the wall currently, because the wall is made of wood, and that should key you into the fact that it won't always be that way. And when it is no longer that way, then we are very, very much going to want to switch over to a different material, which will be far, far more effective. But as it stands, I'm going to say that we no longer want everyone there. 3 hunters should be enough to keep this number nice and high, no matter what's happened. But you can sort of see that some of the zombies here have a different look to them. This one looks a little bit more muddy, or maybe even bloody, you could say, and is an indicator that they're a stronger zombie variant. But there are quite a few more, and there are some very large zombies. This is the health of the wall. If ever any of the walls break, you will lose. That is your game over scenario. If they ever breach the defensive line, that's it for your settlement. So let's see how long it takes you and how much repairing work you do. About 20, that's fine. And we've got a couple of refugees looking for room. I will happily take you in. Let's go ahead and get one there, and then the rest on scavenger duty, because I would like a second repairer. If we could get over to that, that would be fantastic. It would drain our wood resources quite quickly, but I think that should be okay. Let's have them help out, get all of this in. There we go, and we can upgrade. Boom. There we are. Now that has given us access to a couple of new things. If we look over here, we can now build a mine, we can build a stone saw, and we can build a radio tower, which attracts traders. As you can imagine, that would be very, very useful. We can already make the mining pick, and that is something worth us doing. But there's no point in me building a mine until I've got the mining pick. Now, how much does it cost me to build a mine? 200 wood. It's not terrible, but we will get there. Now, unfortunately, if they try to perform a repair and you don't have the resources, it's just a wasted effort. But as you can see, we've already managed to bring it up over the lower bound, which is perfect for now. I would like an extra lumberjack, though. Again, these are pretty much the beating heart of your colony. Having the wood economy nailed down is really where everything needs to be, largely. Now, well, we've got quite a lot of potential food coming in now. We're going to have a bit of wastage, which does suck. So next day I'll reduce this down to 2. But for now, this should be okay. I can also potentially upgrade this at this point. I'm not going to focus on that one just yet, though. In terms of the stone saw, that will give us a 50 capacity. If we have a look in here, we've already got 50 capacity. To upgrade this, we need 300. It's an awful lot, as you might imagine. To get up to the ability to make farmers, we're going to need 150. Now, I caution against rushing for that, because that requires level 4. The granary, the fields, both require level 4. So until you can get to level 4, don't worry about getting this, because I would say that this is more important, because so many other things build off it. Also, once you've got stone available, you are going to be in a position where you can start considering upgrading. All right, we no longer want you there, and indeed we want to switch all of you across. There we go. We've now got quite a few people asleep at night, which is actually quite cool for us. Would really like another repairer, so I'm going to wait on crafting another knife, but it is something that I would like to get done in the somewhat near future. Right, at this stage, I would like to get a mine up and running. To get a pickaxe is going to require 20 as well. That is a shame. All right, so what I might do is on the following night, we're going to get a handsaw sooner rather than later. But this is very much something that we're going to want to upgrade to. Now, we're seeing a lot of fights happening simultaneously, which is meaning that my fighters are now having to run around quite a lot. But I still think 4 is manageable. I don't feel a great need to change that. But I'm going to add an extra scavenger over there. We cannot yet get anyone into that mine. That's going to take some time to do. Getting up stone production as well, that will give us, we've currently got 50, so we're going to need these 4 and a little bit besides, maybe even 2 people working in the mines. We will see how that goes, but for the time being, I'm relatively confident. As soon as we get this influx of scrap, then we should be able to get things on the move there. Let's get you in there, and there we are. Perfect. We've got the amount of scrap that I need. Right, let's get an extra person working here. There we go. Right, that should ease us along nice and quickly. At this stage, we do need a lot of storage for stone. I think we can get up to the point where each stone store we can build up. Let me just build one to be certain. But we now want to consider getting a radio tower as quickly as we can, so that we can start doing trades. We can start selling things that we've got in large excess. Yeah, okay, it costs quite a lot of stone to do. We at least need the ability to store 150, so that means an extra stone store is going to be necessary, so we're going to go ahead and build that one. But that'll give us the 150 that we need to upgrade each of these to carry 100. I'm ultimately going to want all of these to be stone stores, but we are going to want to expand then. That is going to be a necessary evil. Getting the mining happening first is probably higher on my to-do list, though, if I'm honest. All right, let's have a look at how the repairs are going. The repairs are going really, really well. Our 2 repairers are doing a fantastic job, and our hunters are also doing an amazing job. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and get everyone switched over. I'll have you there for now. All right, we've got a little bit extra. We need, I believe it was 20 for that, and we need 50 for the tower, which is a problem in and of itself. You know what? At this point... Sure, let's go ahead and upgrade. Now, if I upgrade it further, it's going to require 600, but will give me 2 turret slots as well, which will actually be quite nice. But one of the things that we need to be aware of, if we upgrade, and we are going to want to do that sooner rather than later, that is going to expose a new piece of wall that we're going to need to defend. So at that point, our 4 fighters absolutely will not be sufficient to our needs. Sadly, we're going to need probably at least another 3 to safely cover the walls. This should be okay for now, though. We will see how this goes. There we are, just trying to keep the noise down when you can without attracting more visitors, but that's fine. You did quite well there. Quite well indeed. I'm not going to have all of the lumberjacks there, though. I think I'm going to grab some extra scavengers. In fact, I'm going to grab quite a few. We are going to need a lot of materials coming in. Now, as soon as this is built up, once the repairs have nothing else to do, they will just kind of idle, but they won't switch it over to another job, which is a bit of a shame. I would have liked it if they would do that, but they'll just take the rest of the day off, basically, and I guess I can't blame them too much for that. Right, we can now get in our first stone, so I'm going to reduce 1 scavenger and get 1 miner out there. They should be able to do quite well. And if I upgrade this with a 250 stone and 600 wood, then I can have 2 miners there. So it gives us a bit of extra efficiency on that building. We've got plenty of room, so I don't need to worry about upgrading the size of the tents right now. So I'm not going to worry about it. And for the time being, things seem to be okay. I think we actually, yeah. Once these 2 repairs are done, we can probably go down to just a single repairer moving forward, and I will switch you over to lumberjacking then. Okay, what are we looking at in terms of our scrap? I mean, it's okay. It's going up at the very least. I think what we're going to have to do is either commit to getting all of these built. I think we will. We'll get all of this stone and then we'll upgrade them as we can. But you may have noticed that we need 1,000 wood here. Let's have a quick gander. We've got 800, so easily with the remaining items we've got here, we can get to that already. So that's not going to be a problem. Now, I know I don't strictly need to have that person there, but I find that it's easy to just have them there because most nights they're going to be needed for a little bit of the night. So I'm okay with just having them chill out there for now. Right, let's see how this night goes. This is another blood moon. Actually, given that it is another blood moon, can we afford to? We can. So let's go ahead and add 5. There we go. Let's get some extra bodies out on this wall. There's quite a lot of wall for them to cover, so I think this will help out ultimately. There we go. Let's try and remove as much as we possibly can of the enemies before they dig down the health too much, which they're unfortunately doing a very, very good job at. However, oh, a citizen was born. Happy days. Very happy days. Okay, that's something to celebrate. I will have them help out immediately, straight out of the womb and onto the onto the workforce. Look, it's rough times, the zombie apocalypse, okay? Right, now with that, I would actually like wall repair to be improved, as that means we'll get I'm not sure if that increases the amount of wood they use, or just increases the efficiency. But if it just increases the efficiency, then honestly, maybe I should be going for that a lot earlier. But that is a couple of extra peeps. Oh, I should have everyone working there, and an extra scavenger as well. Let's have a look. Does that take 25 wood or just 20? I believe, yeah, no, it does actually increase the amount it takes. Oh, that's a bit of a shame. I won't lie. We are starting to hurt a little bit for food now, so I'm going to have, you know what, in fact, I'm going to pull a couple of people across from that. Let's get that food in nice and fast, ideally, because there are lots more mouths to feed now. So I think we might need to aim for a usual of 3, but I'll just have 4 just to get us up to a point which is safe, and then we'll move back from that. From this point forward, I do not need that many people working on repair, though. We will keep one having a little bit of downtime. Maybe not then, I guess. We'll just eke out the best efficiency that we can now that the wall is fixed. That's going to require 600 to upgrade, so it is going to take a little bit of time, but we will get there hopefully soon. Now, the scrap is coming in at this stage. I would say I can start looking at building a shovel. This will allow me to start excavating an area. We're not going to start work on that immediately because there are lots of other things that we're going to want to do. Though at this point, let's pull everyone back and then, sure, expand and put one person on that job. That person is now going to be reserved for that job until it's done. And then that's going to expose a new line that we're going to need to defend. You know, it's not the best thing in the world, but certainly isn't the worst either. And thankfully, we've got quite some time before the next blood moon, I would say. Right, as for the walls, I imagine we're going to be fine with a single repairer following tonight. I should imagine that outside of blood moons, we're only going to need one repairing. At least until a fair bit further into the apocalypse. Right, let's get everyone back on lumberjack duty, and as far as meat goes, we can probably go down to 3 now. So we will hold there for the time being. In fact, I'm just going to move the scavenger across as well. I know it's not ideal because we do want that trader up and running, but right now we actually don't need too much to trade. The main thing that we're going to want trading goods for is once we've actually got access to farms, which will come once all of this is done. As for our current storage, upgrading that a little bit preemptively wouldn't go amiss. So let's go ahead and upgrade you. And upgrade you and you as well. This now gives us just a little bit shy of what we need. You know what? Let's go the full hog. There we go. We can now get all of the materials sorted that we need. Perfect. Right, let's get everyone reassigned. There we go. Our 5 fighters seem to be good enough up to the task for the time being, and we are most of the way. We're well over halfway there now to getting a tower. Oh, also another thing I just noted, we're going to need a little bit more to upgrade the amount of stone that we can currently hold. We can do a little bit more mining. I don't think we need to have our miners stop doing their work, but how's the wall faring? The wall is faring perfectly fine. I think we should be good. I think we should be good moving forward. There we go. We're actually in a relatively solid position, I would say. Right, let's go ahead and remove everyone there, get you all across, and allow the day to continue. There we go. It does take quite some time. You can have more people working on this, though, if you particularly want to, and it might be worthwhile doing, honestly. All right, let's go ahead and upgrade that. There we go. This can already go up even further. Oh, okay. That's very interesting. Right, that allows us to have a stockpile of 300, which is how much we need. We're going to need 450 in total. though, to get everything done, but we don't need it all at once, so I'm actually completely okay with just letting that build up now. At this point, I think that should be fine. And maybe tomorrow we can get the trader up and running. That would be very, very nice, actually. We're not doing badly at all. Now, upgrading this to 600 will give us a turret spot. That requires scrap, stone, and many other things to build a turret position. But that, much like the knife fighter, you can have someone man that turret then going forward at night time, which is, as you can imagine, very, very useful. Right. In terms of the enemies, again, I don't think more than 5 is needed on this wall. Probably 3 there, 3 there. Maybe a total of 6 on each wall eventually. But it's going to be a long time before we can expand out any further than this. So I think for the time being... Oh, we've got a new citizen. That's marvellous. Marvellous news. Sure, we'll get you to help out with scavenging. Food-wise, we seem to be doing okay. I very, very much want to try and get to the point where we can get up our farms, though, as a matter of quite some urgency, if I'm perfectly honest with you. We do not want to be caught with our pants down when it comes to farming, because it will be rough. Actually, let's go ahead and get an extra hunter there. How are we doing in terms of population? We can afford another 3. Given that, I'm tempted to upgrade this a little bit further. Oh, there we go. 2 more people. Wow. I did know that was coming. That was just fantastic fluke. Let's get 1 person in here, and I would like an extra... Sure, let's get an extra lumberjack out there. That should work very, very nicely for us. And you know what? Sure. We'll go for 6 people per wall moving forward. That should be fine. Right, how are we doing? 13 citizens went hungry. How on earth did they go? I guess it was just before a big harvest came in. That makes sense. Well, it's all fixed now, so you don't need to worry. Right. At this stage, we could upgrade the wall. I don't see much of a reason to. Instead, I think we will... Yeah, we'll chill out for now. We don't need to be too fastidious about that. Though you may have noticed that the animal numbers, the population numbers of the in the forest are starting to dwindle. This is another thing that we need to very desperately try and protect. Now we're about to have that wall exposed, so I'm going to say we're going to need 3 new knives. That is unfortunate. Okay, that was actually garbage timing. Let's go ahead and get everyone there. I would like 3 there, 6 here. There we go. Please try and reorient yourselves. That was absolutely hopelessly bad timing. My goodness. Now we've got 2 walls that we now need to protect for all intents and purposes, and that has driven back my ability to get the trading tower soon, but that's okay. Alright, let's get everyone back to work, and I will have the extra body work on repair, because we've now got 2 fronts that we need to restore. I mean, it shouldn't be too bad. They're relatively intelligent about the way they do it. The real worry is how long it's going to take to get up to the 1,000 wood and 300 stone we need to even have an option to get the farms on the go. And again, it can sometimes be can really catch you off guard that you need both the base and the workshop at the upper level in order to make that happen. Oh, there we go, I think. There we are. Perfect. Let's get that radio tower up and running. Amazing. Right, now that I'm at maximum for the mine, I'm just going to have you switch roles for now, because I don't want to waste all of that on these, because it would put us behind a fair bit, and we're so close to having enough that we will be able to... there we go. Perfect. Let's go ahead and upgrade. Job's done. Right, pop you back down there. And that should be good enough, I think. Maybe. Let's swap you around. Let's see, how did you do with the walls? Both walls were brought up to the correct amount, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about that one too much. Right, radio tower is going to allow us to start trading away any excess resources we have. Not that I plan to have many excess resources, but this may be a thing that happens. It might be worth us getting a little bit of extra meat storage, but I actually don't think so. I think planning to have lots of extra meat is not a good survival strategy because it takes a lot of resources to be able to stockpile it. Maybe one more than this would be okay. But at this point, we largely want to transition to farming as quickly as we possibly can. We're not going to need nearly as much effort to do that, thankfully. Right, there we go. And let's bring everyone back in and across, and we'll have the extra help out with scavenging. There we go. Right, now, as for this, we could upgrade to knife fighting. So this will also reduce the zombie attraction, which is actually quite nice. Or I can give everyone better move speed. Economically, this makes more sense. We're still early on where I don't feel that we're really being threatened by the zombies too much. Right, let's see how much wood comes in here. Decent amount. Can I sell a bit of wood to get enough food? Sure. I will make that trade. That is an okay trade. 75 stone would only get me one, but you can get that quite quickly. But that should be good for now. Already making use of it. Marvelous. Probably not going to do much more today. Well, actually, maybe. Maybe we will. Sure, okay. I could go... no, I'll wait on other things being brought in. But increasing the speed that we're going to get that stone in would not be a bad move. That actually brings us quite close to being able to upgrade this. Alright, I'll hold on to that. I'm not sure how often we get a trader. Attributes 15%, 50% get more trade goods there, but it shouldn't take us too long. We will probably be able to get all of that set up by tomorrow, which will be amazing. All right, let's get everyone moved across. There we go. Pop 4 back there. There we are. Let's have a look at the walls. We weren't able to fully repair them, but it was after a blood moon, so it's not too surprising. Let's redistribute you a little bit better, I think. There's far more wall to cover on this side. So 3 up there seems good enough. You should be able to handle everything going on. I guess I could put you into helping out a little bit. Yeah, sure. Okay. What is our current state with our people? 20 of 30. Not bad. Not bad at all, actually. Let's have a look at overall. We've got 350 here. We've got 1,200 there. 80. Okay. We're going to need 2,500 to upgrade to the next tier. What would that get us? Forging, I guess? And something else. Not sure at all what that is. Perhaps we can find that out together, depending on if things go well. But we would need to greatly expand our ability to store wood for that, at the very least. All right. That was a pretty solid defense, I think. Let's get as many people over on here as we can. There we are. Right. Now, we need just a little bit more wood, and we should be okay. Yeah, they're only getting 3 back, and we're taking more than 3 each turn. Right. How much? Okay, so the next return from our lumberjacks will give us everything we need, and there we go. Let's go ahead and upgrade. And immediately, if we have the means to, get ourselves a sickle. In fact, we're going to go for 2 straight out the gate. We're going to want... okay, it's going to take a little bit of time to get that. We're also going to want granary, because right now our storage capacity for grain is not, well, 0, as it happens. So we're definitely going to want that. Right, okay. Let's go ahead and... still don't have it. Sad to say. Sad to say. Let's build a granary here, though. Sure. Let's gather on the go. Everyone's got jobs. I'm just preparing for the future right now, that's all. We'll be done with that in a moment. There we go. 1 more return from the lumberjacks. And we can get our first farm on the go. There we are. Okay. Let's get that building. Let's have a look. All the walls are fully repaired. So from this point, you're going to be dialing back. And as soon as this is done, we'll get a farmer over there. We are going to want to get quite a few farms. At least 6, I would say. But the farms can be further upgraded to make them even more effective at what they do. Let's pull you back. We are always going to want someone working the farms pretty much. And soon enough, we're going to stop. All right, in 13 hours, we're going to get our first harvest. Not ideal. There's going to be nothing to harvest in 13 hours. But we can upgrade these. So my initial thoughts are to go for 6 fields. They're fairly easy to go do, and we probably won't build more than that. We'll just upgrade them so that more people can work those jobs over time. We might transition to grain being one of our primary exports if we can build enough granaries to store it all. And that way we can get the wood in short order, the salvage, all of that kind of stuff, which we're going to need quite a lot of in order to manage everything else. Got a fair few zombies, but our knife fighters are actually doing a really good job. Just a last little straggler there, but yeah, no, that was really good. Right, let's get you all in your new jobs. There we go. And as soon as we've got 200, we're going to get another farmer. And probably, let's have a look. How much can we store? We can store 80, so I'm going to wait and see how we want to use all of that. But we are almost certainly going to be building that up. And I think I would like to as well get an extra, another quarryman as well. That would actually be useful. Right, got 2 extra mouths to feed. Sadly, not the best, but also not the worst. There we go. All right. We are a little bit shy of what we want. So let's go ahead and build. Let's go for another 2 axes, actually. Let's get all of you there. There we are. That will do quite well. We do have a lot of food that needs to be brought in. 22 people went hungry. Okay, we got some grain. Rejoice! We need so much more. But we are going to start transitioning. This is going to be a thing that we can do. Let's have a look. How are these walls looking? Yeah, they're actually working quite well. All right, so I'm going to want to pull one down there and get you moved across. We will still focus on wood as a primary. It's going to, every like 2 or 3 days, we're going to get a harvest. Winter is, as you can probably imagine, going to affect that in quite a big negative way. It's something that we're going to really struggle with when it happens, but you know, it's just, it is what it is. I would like 2 extra sickles, and let's go ahead and build 2 more farms and an extra granary as soon as we can. We're going to be using quite a lot of our supplies to get these up and running, but it is going to really help. There we go. Right. Now, each of these, given a good harvest, will bring in about, from what I've been able to tell, around about, let's say, 1,000-ish? 1,000, that very wishful thinking. 100-ish, rather. So we currently have a capacity to store 300. We're going to want extra granaries. Can they upgrade much? They can for 150, doubles them. But I can just use 100 to get that effect, so I will do that instead. Pretty much, we're going to want to be able to store enormous amounts, because we're largely going to want to carry this to carry us through the winter, once winter is a thing that we're dealing with. And it is going to become a thing that we're going to have to deal with quite a lot. The next feast is going to be after the next blood moon. Let's have a look at the walls. Ooh, they're actually starting to get a bit beaten up, aren't they? Alright, let's get 2 over here then instead. There we go. Let's have you help out a bit. But for now, oh, here we go. A trader has dropped by. Let's see what we can do. I would like to sell some wood, buy some meat. I could sell some scrap and buy some meat as well. Let's go ahead and do that, sure. There we are. That isn't too rough for us, I don't think. We want to just use the trader to get past the hump until the farms are fully productive. And then we'll be largely trading food to the trader from that point forward, I would imagine. Hopefully, we're going to lose a little bit here. That was perhaps poorly thought out by me. I say perhaps. That's very generous. It was poorly thought out by me. There is no two ways about it, but it is what it is. When these hunters bring back their kills, we're going to end up with too much. Actually, no. Never mind. Never mind. Perfect. As I intended it. Right. Let's make sure that you're always set up correctly. There we are. Oh, and we've still got one left over. Sure. We'll have you working there then. Once we've had our first harvest, I'm going to halve the amount of hunters we've got. In fact, I might actually start pulling them back a little bit before then. We'll see how it goes. Right now, it really is insistent on putting 4 people over there. I guess I can allow it for now. And just see how that goes. We'll see what they can do. They seem to be managing okay. We've got... these walls are taking a beating, though. That is definitely not something I want to see happening too much more. Yeah, from now on, I'm going to draw back 1. I'll draw back an extra 1. Right, let's pull all of my fighters off. There we go. Wow, okay, we could actually have the others move across to scavenging then. Am I going to need the extra materials? A little bit. Let's just have 2 there. There we go. That should do us moving forward. Right, with these are not going to get a full harvest, but ultimately we are going to want the granaries available for it. Still, let's allow a little bit more time to pass. I think we should be relatively okay. We've got 20 hours before that comes in. We've got 5 hours before the blood moon. Do I want some more fighters? Probably. Let's go all the way up to 11 fighters in total. I think that should help out. And yeah, sure. Let's get the other 2 granaries as well, because we won't have much time in the morning. But this is you know, we've got far more going on here than we actually needed there, which is fine. Right, there we go. Again, we're going to want to transition away from hunting as our main food source to the fields instead. Right, let's pause that there. We're going to need an awful lot of peeps coming across and helping out. There we go. Now, we've got people spending the entire night together, so we have got a decent... there, speak of the devil. We have actually got a decent amount of... population expansion happening, which is very, very good. But how are the walls? They're okay. I think the walls should hold. There we go. The fields are coming in now. Now, I'm fairly certain you never want to completely abandon hunting. And so I would say that 3 is generally a good amount, except in winter when you probably want it to just be 2. But moving forward, we should be able to have quite a lot of folks just focusing on the farms for us instead. 3 hours we bring in our harvest, and the populations are starting to replenish now that we're not over hunting. Finally, we get this, unlocking the knife fighter. That is going to mean that we probably need less people working on that every day. This is going to suck because we've got like an hour before we can have you help us. But sure, come on in. You'll be hungry for a few moments, but it's fine. An hour of hunger shouldn't kill you, I hope. All right, there we go. Fantastic. All right. Now, given that we do actually have quite a lot of storage potential, got 900 right now, I would like to upgrade some of these. We can only upgrade them once. That's okay. We will leave you working on the scavenger until we've got the materials to push that a little bit further, but that's fine. The other thing that we're going to want, obviously, is to start upgrading the walls. I would love to get to the walls to the point where they are stone walls. As I don't know, I haven't been able to test it, but I think that might mean that they are going to be much more durable as a whole. One would assume that would be the case. There we go. I need 1,000 wood and 600 stone. Oh my lord. Okay, well maybe we're not going to be doing that too soon then, actually. Damn it. But okay. That's just going to be the way things are. Do I have enough to make 2 of these? I do. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and reassign. I would like this one to be upgraded next. But we do now have the availability of turrets. I need quite a lot of scrap to do this, but that gives us basically a ballista on the walls, which, as you can imagine, is going to be quite useful. Let's go ahead and get out our knife fighters. Let's just do it that way. There we are. That should work. Now, I imagine that having 2 people work this, we're going to see, up to about 200 from it. We will see. But we've got some very chonky boys now. You notice the extreme size difference there. This will be a bit of a problem, but I should imagine our knife fighters are going to be up to the task, or I certainly hope they will be. Getting these built is going to be useful, quite useful, but we will get up to that as time permits. We're not going to be worried too much about it. There we go. Job done. Let's get everyone back on the jobs. There we go. That's marvelous. Now, do I need... We do need a lot of work. We need a lot of repairs to happen, so we're going to have to just wait on that one. That is growing very quickly, which is wonderful. All right, we've got a bit of trade available to us. I'm going to say we don't need as much stone. And do we need the meat? Sure, I'll take some meat for now. But that's all I'm going to take, I think, for the time being. This is going to bring in a load of wood. We'll go ahead and upgrade that. Redistribute farmers. There we are. And make sure our lumberjacks are doing well. Okay. Right now then, I would say it's pretty much a waiting game. I want the materials needed to upgrade that, but to even get there is going to require quite a lot. We can only store 350. I can only add another 150. So that is a problem, as you can imagine. Would this being upgraded help? It would give us an extra 50. It wouldn't really help. So I'm going to have to upgrade at least one of these again. That is a potch. That is quite a potch. I think we're probably going to need double miners before we get to that point then. I would have liked it if it were different, but it is not. There we go. We'll get a little bit of extra meat as well then. That should carry us quite well. There we go. Do I want to continue upgrading these? Possibly. That might be something to work on, but I think I need to focus on getting the actual stone storage upgraded as a priority. Right, let's get all of you across. There we are. Now, how are the births going right now? 4.4 per hour. Not bad. Actually, how many more people can we house? Not that many. Probably going to want to look at building that up shortly. We are very close to being able to get it to an archer position, a ballista position, though. That will be very, very useful. We're also going to need another 600 to finish up that wall, which is going to take us a bit of work, but well, we'll get there. There we go. They're doing a relatively good job, I would say. But yeah, getting this upgraded, probably a higher priority than building the stone storage, I would say. I would say that is probably a bit of a higher priority. I think, at the very least. Let's get some more scavenging happening so that we can build the towers a little bit faster. Now, how much are we going to need for that? 600 and 250. The 250 shouldn't be a problem. And oh, wait. What's happening there? Oh, my lord. I do apologize. We are going to need... we burnt half a day. People just getting a bit of time off. It's fine. They were helping with the population. It was all part of the plan, I tell you. But let's go ahead and construct... Actually, no. We're going to wait. We will wait on getting this built first. 1 or 2 more runs and we should have enough coming in. Oh, that's glorious, though. 15 hours and we are golden. Right. 250 we're waiting on there. Actually, in that case, then, we will upgrade this. Sure. Now, there are a couple of things that we can do here. First and foremost, let's go ahead and get the knife fighters out. Get you out and then pop you in there. The guard there. But over here, we can tell them what to target. We can tell them to target nothing. only alerted zombies, zombies that are attacking us, or any zombie in range. Go for alerted zombies only for now. I don't want to bring more towards us. This does cost wood to fire, however, so it is something for us to bear in mind. But our last harvest actually managed to carry us through. Well, that being said, I was most certainly using up a little bit of extra meat as well that I bought, as you know, supplementing the hunting that was happening. But I think, you know, we're maintaining the amount of animals that we have. Ooh, that is really bad. That's almost down to half health. Is it time that we upgrade? I think it might be. Okay, let's have you helping out there then. Okay, it's not ideal, but it will definitely carry us for a bit at least. Let's go ahead and upgrade one of these. I think we're going to need it. There we go, and there we are. How close? We were just there. Whoa. And this is why I built so many. You need a lot of granaries to hold a good harvest. An awful lot of granaries to hold a good harvest. No wood resources though, because I'm so sorry. I've got 3 people with nothing to do. There you go. That should help you repair things. I apologize. I apologize profusely. Right, with that though, I'm hoping that we can build up to getting the stoneworks on the go. At the very least, I can use the rest of the... well, I mean, I might upgrade 1 or 2 more of these. We will see. But we've got massive amounts of wheat being harvested now. So I'm somewhat confident that we'll be okay. And we almost finished repairing all the walls. So with that, I'm going to say we can go back to just having 2. Oops, that is not what I wanted to do. There we go. Let's just have the 2. There we go. And then always maintain a couple of you in there. Maybe another 2 would be good, but we barely got through the last one, honestly, so I'm not in too much of a rush. Of course, I would like to get up to being able to have all of these farms upgraded. But at that point, we would run into granary issues. Citizen was born. Hooray. Let's have you helping... Well, you're going to be helping out as a miner very soon. But the children yearn for the mines. And the generator. But we don't talk about that. Oh, no. That fated Frostpunk run never happened. Dark Aavak definitely wasn't in control. Right. We need... we already have enough to manage... Ooh. Actually, this might be all we need. In fact, let's get you helping out with scavenging for now, though. Hello. I would like to sell... Oh, you don't want to buy the grain. Really? Interesting. I guess there's just the time. It might just be the time then. Okay, well, I guess there's nothing we're going to buy. I mean, I could, I suppose. Sure, I'll just get a little bit of extra meat. We are going to need... Though I notice extra housing, we're not going to be able to get away from that any further. Because right now we are not growing our population at all. Because there's just no room to put them. So we're going to have to... Oh, I hate that I just did that again. There we go. Now we're going to be bringing in... What? Oh my lord. How many times has that happened now? Like the 3rd time or something? Right, let's go ahead and build you. We will upgrade it more or less. Well, actually, we'll wait on upgrading it. We just want to get this on the go now, and I need to wait for 600 for that. But at least we're not going to be wasting potential with population growth at this point, so I'm okay with that. Right, let's have a look down here. Everything is going relatively well. Food-wise, we're going very, very well. I think having the meat, you know, diversifying diet is important in my opinion. That wool is taking a lot of damage though. That is taking a lot of damage. And now that they've engaged, we're going to be stuck here dealing with them until they're dead. Right, there we go. That was a blood moon though. So, as far as things go, that wasn't too bad. I would like to say at this point, again, inventory size. Lumberjacks are everything for us, so having them being able to move more is better. And pop the rest into scavenging. There we go. Excellent work. 3 repairers should be able to get this all done relatively quickly. That being said, maybe I could have more lumberjacks. We could look into that. That is absolutely something we could look at, because I'm fairly certain we're about to run out of the ability to store anymore. Yes, we are. Well, that is just annoying. All right. We're going to build this then to use up some of that. I need to trade it. Okay, that requires base level 6 and the ability to build crazy stuff. Okay, I was not on my list of things to aim to do, but sure. I'm going to shift some of the scavengers across the lumbering. More wood, more better. Especially because we need to get to 2,000 for this. And at the very least, I can always upgrade. There's plenty of things I can upgrade. There is always something I can upgrade with wood. Including my wood storage, frankly. So that it certainly doesn't hurt. Let's go ahead and get everyone over there. And at this point, I don't really need to move people around too much anymore. Let's have a look at the walls. Still needs a fair old bit of work, actually. Still needs a fair old bit of work. That is a lot to store. And it's in 10 hours. Oh, my lord. Okay, maybe we got a bit too much going on with the farms. What a problem. I was honestly expecting to be able to start trading at this point, but in 9 days we get winter. A citizen was born. Welcome. Welcome to the apocalypse, I guess. Alright, there we are. Let's get everyone from there. And yeah, that's pretty amazing. Let's get everyone positioned as best we can. You know what? How are the hunters doing? The hunters are back to doing quite well, so I think 3 hunters would be a decent one. We're not going to need to upgrade that for a while. How are the walls looking? This one is really taking quite a beating. Uh-oh. You can store a little bit more. Okay, we can't store any more than that. So let's get that one done. Can't store any more than that. Really? It hurts. Okay, fine. I'm never going to get this upgraded, I've realized. It's never going to happen. We'll be thankful for this enormous storage of food, though, come winter. That will be a trial for us, and one that it's going to be pretty rough to get through. All right, okay, let's finally upgrade this. Oh, my lord, it's been a long time coming. Right, an extra miner, please. There we go. I'll do quite nicely. Actually, I'm going to have some extra meat brought in. The townspeople do love their meat. Let's upgrade that one as well. There we go. Fully upgraded on that side. And with that, let's pull everyone aside and get them in position. And yes, we will be able to get a turret over here, but though it's going to require a little bit of extra work to do that. I am really thinking of getting an extra repairer as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's going to be very important for us. 2 miners. That'll obviously bring in the stone twice as fast, which is going to be necessary for us. But we are going to need to upgrade all of these as well. I could build more over here, I suppose. There's no real reason not to. Beyond it just kind of being out of the way, and I like having things close together. But, I mean, you know, after some point, you've just got to say it makes more sense to at least have something working. Let's redistribute that a little bit better. Oh, my bad. There we go. In that case, then, yeah, I think 2 scavengers is good enough. We're not going to have 4 people working up here all the time. Can we? We still cannot sell our wheat. That surprises me enormously. Then there's honestly nothing that I need to trade with you. Honestly, nothing I need to trade. So I think we're just going to hold on to our material for now then. Thank you, but no. All right, let's have a look at this. Oh, that's doing very well. We are not going to need all of you there anymore. Let's get them onto helping the lumberjacks and start building out a bit more. Okay, that's fantastic. Oh, look at how fast they're bringing this in. That is absolutely amazing. Absolutely wonderful, in fact. Let's go ahead and upgrade that, sure. As yet, we haven't expanded down here, and I'm in no particular rush to, because it just means I'm going to have more that I'm going to need to defend. And I'm happy not having to defend it right now. Did we manage to get... Yeah, we managed to get it fully repaired. That's amazing. I could invest over here. Sure. It'll give us that much more hit points. This will be the next use of my materials, I think. That one's going to cost way too much to upgrade. That one will do as well. Can't upgrade the meat racks any further, which is why I'm not really going to be leaning into meat much. It's got a significant limit to it. But we're going to need to get the metal to relatively soon in order to continue pushing this. Ooh, got an extra person I didn't have assigned. That was my bad there. I could even get some more farmers, perhaps, but I mean, I can't store much more, so that would probably not be the wisest use of my resources. There we go. Now, once we have enough, yeah, I think it is literally just build up to 600. We've already got the 1,000 storage for wood, so that's not an issue. So it entirely comes down to building up to being able to store 600 stone and then upgrading these walls where we can. Obviously, we want to get that as soon as I have the resources for it, and that's largely going to come from scavenging, I think. But at present, our little town is doing not too terribly. I'm actually pretty happy with it so far. Now, of course, that's famous last words, I guess, but, well, they're my words, and I stand by them. Right, we've got a little bit more room here. How about, can we upgrade that? Not quite, so I'm going to invest 300 over here to upgrade that. Just so we're not wasting those resources. We need a little bit more scrap to get the archer tower in place. But I just glanced at the corner of my eye, and time is marching on. And again, I've got like surgery in like a few hours. Ah, my lord. Okay, I didn't want to leave you without any content. So that's why I'm sat here instead of trying to relax. Alright, let's go ahead and get all of that sorted. Yeah, 4 scavengers is pretty solid for our numbers, and we're about to bring in a bumper harvest. I am really worried that we're about to waste so much of it, though. It sucks, but here we are. All right, there we go. Massive amounts. Let's grab the big fields first. How much can we go? Nope, we stop right about there. Could go ahead and build some more. It is worth it because food is going to be desperately important. And if we wait too long, it starts to rot in the fields. Also, that gives me a bit of a use for the excess of wood that we have. All right, now let's have a look. What is our stone capacity? We need 2 of these upgraded, which requires 300 wood and 600. So 600. Sorry, 300. What it was 300 stone. 600 stone and 1,200 wood. So given that, I'm going to upgrade you, and I'm going to upgrade you as well, so that I can comfortably store it. But yeah, we are going to need to move over to metalworking in the relatively near future, I would say. Our 2 repairers are still doing amazing work, considering everything. As are, let's not forget, our very competent guards and knife fighters. Like, they are doing amazingly over here. In fact, I want 1 extra knife fighter, so it's a nice even number. I can't do anything about the fact that we haven't got an even number of turrets, but I can absolutely get an even number of guards. Now let's have a look at how badly this is. Wow, they are drinking the health off these walls, unfortunately, and there's nothing I can do about it. That is going to need a lot of repairs. That is going to need an awful lot of repairs. This was a rough night. This was a very rough night. This wall is Oh, on its last legs. Okay. Okay, okay. We are going to need to bring everyone in, get all of our repairers out there, and might even want to upgrade our repairer's ability. Yes, I think that's going to be the one that we go for. There we go. Ouch, that hurt. But they're all now able to do a lot of repairs. Oh, thank goodness we can sell grain. We can sell grain and for a lot. We can sell grain for an awful lot. Let's go ahead and get everything together to repair this. We've got another harvest due very soon. So I'm not too worried about that. There we are. That was fantastic. Now, on the flip side, I would now actually like to upgrade that a little bit. So let's also... do I have enough people working as scavengers? I don't, actually. Let's pop them over there. How are the animals doing? The animals are doing okay. That being said, actually... You know what? While we're here... Sure. Go ahead. I'll just do that. And then I can get an extra person to help out in the fields. That works very well for me. Do I want a second person to do that? Yes, I do. We're going to need a little bit of extra stone to get that on the go, but we managed to bring in stone very quickly, so... Now, the wood is the issue, of course. Can never be easy. Right, there we go. Alright, let's pull everyone in. 10 people working the fields is going to be plenty for us. Also having 4 repairers, we should be able to restore these walls. They're practically full health. Wow. Okay, that investment was a good investment in my opinion. Alright, let's get at least a couple of people scavenging at all times. This should be able to bring us in enormous amounts of food. And a citizen was born. Hooray! Right, 4 scavengers at this stage. I think we can handle that. Do I have enough axes to account for? Yes, so we can just switch the lumberjacks to the guards and the knife fight. I'm so sorry, lumberjack. All I can say is I very much hope that what happens is that it's kind of round robin. It's not just the same lumberjacks all the time. That way, you know, different people take different shifts. So that would seem fair. Right, let's get all of you in as well. I would happily have you join the scavenger cruise. Now then, with that, actually, I might not mind getting a little bit more going on over here as well. Maybe even more lumberjacks, frankly. Though at this stage, we do now have the means of gathering all of the stone together to build this wall. I think. Yes, we do. So I might upgrade one of these once more, just so that we've got a little bit of over push, but it depends. It depends a little bit on how all of that happens. All right, let's go ahead and pull everyone back. There we go. Actually, we'll have you 6 back there. This should be good. I could get another 2 lumberjacks out there. There's a lot more that I can upgrade at the very least. And how much... yeah, I'm practically there with needing to just burn that off just so I've got storage. That's fine, though. That is fine. All right, we're going to have a bumper harvest, it seems. So maybe I need to dial back on trading away the grain. Probably won't. I'm going to say that maybe I don't want to sell all my food. Or either that, or I build way bigger stockpiles for my the grain that's going to be brought in. We'll see how it goes. Everything seems fine. Let's get everyone back at their jobs. There we go. Looking very good, actually. Maybe another another miner, honestly. It wouldn't go amiss. Alright, let's see what that brings us up to. Just shy of our storage capacity. We could definitely not handle another 2. Then with our current storage capacity. I would say that would be quite a hopeless endeavor. Instead, I wouldn't mind pulling down the trade post. Yeah, let's do this. Rebuild the trade post over here. And build a new stone mine down here. Yeah, we'll have all the miners in the same location. I think that makes quite a lot of sense, actually. There we go. Now, how are the walls looking? Walls are looking fantastically good. Let's immediately upgrade that to the 2nd level. And hopefully we can get 2. No, we can get 1. But 1 is good enough. Let's pop you over there. As with the amount of scavengers we have, we'll easily be able to get the materials for the 2nd quite quickly, I would imagine. Very, very quickly, actually. There we are. Loads of wood brought back in. Fantastic. And we're going to want everyone back outside, protecting the walls. There we go. And how with we almost got them back to full health. But that's alright. Maybe 3 repairers would be able to get the job done at this point. That might be something we want to look at. I think probably. So I'm going to assign just 3. You don't need to go full bore on that. But definitely 4 miners to be able to get the stone together. And plus, once we transition these walls to stone, stone is going to be our repair resource. So it's going to be important that we've got a good stockpile of it at all times. Right, that was another fantastic night. Let's get everyone out there. And there we go. And trader has dropped by once again. Now I could... It's tempting. I could go ahead and at least buy enough to push us over the line. We just need a little bit more stone and we're good to go. Are we right next to our storage? Yeah, we are right on top of our storage potential, so I'll get that upgraded as well. Just need a tiny bit more stone. 1 more cycle and we're good. Come on. Oh, pause. Upgrade. There we go. Walls are made of stone. Now, to upgrade any further, we're going to need a lot more. Can we? We're not even close to being able to store enough. Ooh. We actually might need to expand out to be able to start storing enough wood for... Wow, okay, I was not expecting that. That being said, I could probably fit in some extra storage around here for wood. I suppose. That would be an option. Not the best option, in my opinion. But it is an option open to us. I would need more peeps to protect, but... that might not be a terrible one, especially if we're doing okay with the current food situation, and I feel that we are. Alright, let's go ahead and make 2 of those, and I'm going to pause this. Oh, it's going to need 750 for that. Okay, never mind then. We will get to that shortly. But at that point, I think we're just going to have you set up as is. Right, well, they must be very confident in our ability to protect them at this point. We have so many babies in this colony. It's like we're not even in a zombie apocalypse. Now let's have a look at the walls here. That is 1,800, which is very, very nice. But it will require a different repair resource. But in a way, that's going to be good, because I'm not going to be pulling from the same resource that my turrets are using to fire, that I'm using to upgrade all of my other buildings. So that's actually in a really nice place, I think. I think it is very useful to have that be distributed across several different uses. I'm thinking it may be worth us upgrading the extra fields, though. We will see where that goes. But we do now have enough to expand this, so let's go ahead, pull you back, get 2 people working on this one, so it's going to happen twice as fast, which is going to be very nice. And we will then have an extra wall to work, which is going to be a bit of an issue. Let's go ahead and get another 2 knives ready for that, because it's going to be a bit of a chore. But I think we should be able to rise to the challenge, let's say. Probably going to need extra farms though. Looking at the speed that we're chowing through all of this food, yeah, I think that is very, very likely. Very likely indeed. There we go. Got all the guards, all the fighters on the walls. Let's have a look at how that... Well, it looks like we're getting up to full every single time. This is a horde night as well. So, and winter is 4 hours away. We're going to get one more good harvest. They have brought this down to half health already. That is terrifying considering how much health that place had. Right, okay. Well, we made it to winter. Are we going to make it through winter? Now, that is a story for another time, I think, looking at the time. But the last thing we're going to choose is what we're going to spend this point on. I think it has to go to the knife fighters. They're doing such a good job. And then being able to take out our enemies a little bit faster would be a massive boon for the settlement. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave things off. We've made it to the first winter. Honestly, I'm as surprised as you are. We're even in such a good position. We're considering expanding even more. Very, very surprised. But this is our last harvest. And as you can see, the little icon there letting us know that the next one's going to be rough. Given that, I'm absolutely, even if it's just a temporary thing, going to build that granary and try and get this food in. I'm not gonna say no to that. That is way too valuable to us. Let's make sure that we've got loads of room for... Oh my lord, I need to do it again. Okay, fine. Done. I guess then with that, I'll go ahead and build this one. But honestly, I doubt we're going to have that again. And certainly not through winter. We're not going to fill all of these again. But symmetry demands it. Let's go ahead and upgrade it as well. But that is going to be it for me and from Final Outpost, the definitive edition for now. Now, as I mentioned, we're just going to save and quit here. There we go. Are you sure you want to quit? Your progress will be saved. Yes, that's why I clicked save and quit. But that is going to be it from me for today and for the next couple of days / weeks or two. The recovery is going to be a few months, but I imagine that's for until you feel normal and fighting fit and can return to an active lifestyle kind of recovery. I hope that I'll be able to get back to sitting at my computer for more than a couple of minutes at a time relatively quickly. But we will see how that goes. If you enjoyed this video, though, do let Saint Algorithmus know by massaging those lovely buttons down below. And if you want to pick up Final Outpost Definitive Edition for yourself, it has released now. In fact, yesterday on the 22nd of May, then you can find links down in the video description as well. But that is going to be it from me. So until next time, and as always, do take care, everyone.